Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food. It's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. And on today's podcast, I'm going to share with you a practice of eating certain foods that I've been doing for quite a while, and the results just seem to be getting better and better. And by that I mean staying full of energy, disease and sickness free, full of energy again, and just looking my best, staying super lean without having to count all these calories and fats and everything. So today I'm gonna share with you a practice of eating that I incorporate into my meal planning that helps me to do just that, to feel and look better. Isn't that what we all want? But first, guys, think about that. Food is not just some fuel. Your body doesn't just interact with the caloric density of whatever it is you put in your mouth. Whatever you put in your mouth, it actually changes chemical reactions in your body and in your brain and throughout your whole system, your whole body system. So whenever you inject, whenever you eat anything, whatever you put anything in your mouth, it produces certain signals that tells your body something. And at this moment, we are not sure exactly how that works. Like when we put certain foods in our mouth, how does it interact with our body, with all our cells, and how our body makes sense of all of that we put in our mouth, especially in the past 50 years when food industry really developed and got creative. All these new novel foods, like we don't really know how our body interacts with all of that on a hormonal level, on a genetic level. And that's the thing you want to understand, That's the thing you want to understand, guys, that whenever you eat certain thing, it interacts again with your body down to genetic level. So whatever you put in your mouth, it doesn't just pass through your system. It doesn't even just build you. It actually gives a signal to your DNA, to your genes, how to express themselves and how to turn on certain genes and turn off certain genes. So when you eat certain foods, again, you give a signal to your body, and we are not sure yet what signal especially every new food gives to our body and what our body does in response. And that's why I'm such a huge fan of whole foods, of foods that were created by Mother Nature millions and billions years ago, foods that evolved as we evolved on the same planet. All these food creations, we just don't know how exactly our body will respond to that. And that's why it's always much safer to stick with whole foods. And whole foods are foods that were minimally processed. Even cooking is a form of processing, right? But try to stay as close as possible to foods in their natural states, to plant and animal foods exactly as you see them in nature. So at least on your plate, yes, it's going to be cooked, but at least you can recognize what the ingredients are in your daily meals. And speaking of signaling, there has been a lot of studies done on different signaling molecules in our plant foods, specifically in animal foods too, but specifically on plant foods when it comes to longevity and a lot of beneficial health effects. So SIRT foods, there are different compounds in certain foods that are proven to make it seem for your body like you either under caloric restriction or physical exercise. So those compounds activate our SIRTUIN genes, or a set of our genes that basically are activated when we exercise or when we fast. And so there are compounds in certain foods, in certain plant foods specifically, that activate those genes. So let me read you something from the book called The SIRT Food Diet. We need to radically rethink the idea that fruits, vegetables, and plant foods are good for us simply because they contain vitamins and antioxidants. They are good for us because they contain natural chemicals that place a mild stress on our cells, just as fasting and exercise do. Plants, because they are stationary, have developed a highly sophisticated stress response system and produce polyphenols to help them adapt to the challenges of their environment. So basically, guys, plant can't move, they can't fight, so they had to figure out how to adapt to the environment in other ways. And chemicals they produce, that's the way that plants figure out how to adapt to their environment the best possible way, and to, of course, to thrive and survive. When we eat these plants, their polyphenols activate our stress response pathways, our SIRTUIN genes, mimicking the effects of caloric restriction and exercise. And that basically, guys, means you are leaner, healthier, fitter, you live longer, you have more energy, you feel better on a daily basis, you burn more fat, because that's what happens when you fast, for example. The foods with the most powerful SIRTUIN activating effects are called SIRT foods. In these books, they're called SIRT foods. And the list of those foods are, the foods are arugula, buckwheat, capers, celery, including its leaves, chilies, cocoa, basically our cocoa powder, mostly powder. There is not so much in cocoa butter, and of course things like dark chocolate contain them. But the best things actually for to activate your SIRTUINs are eating raw cacao beans, that I do quite often when I can find them. Coffee, but that goes of course to brewed coffee, not some instant thing. Extra virgin olive oil, garlic, green tea, especially matcha, kale, medjool dates, parsley, red endive. It's some sort of kind of tastes like a lettuce and looks like a little bit of purple cabbage, but just smaller and longer. Red onions and red wine. So in my personal eating practice, every day I try to incorporate some of these foods, like as much as possible, and of course as much as it makes sense. Like, for example, I drink my black coffee every single day, 2 big cups of coffee, or maybe moderate, depending where you are. 2 cups of coffee, freshly brewed black coffee before noon. Whenever I can, I add extra virgin olive oil into my salads, or I get my seafood canned in extra virgin olive oil. Red onions, whenever I buy my onions, I always buy them red. Wine, to get the amount of SIRTUIN activating polyphenols from red wine, you'll have to drink a heck lot of red wine, and at some point there is much more damage, especially if you drink it at night, that compromises your sleep. So red wine probably is not my thing and probably shouldn't be yours. Also, whenever I can, I eat strawberries, turmeric, walnuts. I always try to add as much as possible, turmeric in curry spice, or just turmeric in my water, or adding again to my food somehow. Strawberries, by the way, today I'm going to be buying some strawberries. They are also really high in sirtuins. Walnuts also really high in them. So this list, I just try to incorporate again as many from this list as possible, as many foods as possible, and I believe that you also can use, because why not? A lot of these foods you can simply incorporate in your meals. Some of them are truly enjoyable by themselves, like strawberry or dark chocolate. By the way, for me, dark chocolate is 100% sugar-free chocolate. That's the only real chocolate. Adding some garlic, some extra virgin olive oil, some celery. Maybe that's why the celery juice works. Who knows? It certainly does something. So guys, again, the message of today's podcast is food is not just fuel. It's not even just something that builds every cell of your body. It's actually a signal to your genes how to express themselves, and basically how you're gonna look and feel, not just now, but many years from now. Foods affect us on genetic levels, and we eat pounds of them, literally. So you might be taking, some supplement once in a while, but food you eat every single day, pounds of it, and you want to make sure that it actually helps you to be a better version of yourself. And so these foods are some of the foods that are truly powerful and activate the set of those genes that are activated when we fast or exercise or under some stress, and that helps us to stay fitter, endure stress better, to burn more fat, to have more energy, to have just more robust system that lasts longer. And let's go through the list again. Listen to this carefully, and whenever you can, make the choices to get more of these foods into your daily meals. Arugula, great for salads. Buckwheat, if you're eating grains, buckwheat is probably one of the most nutritious ones, and it's actually a pseudo grain. It's actually a seed. Capers, I can eat them by themselves, but also they are great in all sorts of salads or wraps, and you usually can find them canned. Celery, including its leaves, maybe celery juice that is super low calorie, low carb, and lower than anything, but also add celery to your salads. Chilies, if you like something hot and spicy, then add it to your food. Cocoa powder, or 100% dark chocolate or cocoa beans. Coffee, of course black, extra virgin olive oil to your salads, or buy your canned seafood or other food in extra virgin olive oil. Garlic, green tea, if you love green tea, drink a lot of it. Japanese, one of the longest living nations in the world, drink a lot of green tea. Maybe that has something to do with it. Kale, great in your salads, but also if you buy mature kale, also great sauteed. Medjool dates, parsley, also great for salads. I love it. I love also cooking with it, but add it at the end of your cooking so it still preserves all the compounds that are beneficial to you. Red endive, check them out on your next on your next trip to the supermarket. Add it to your salads. It's the only way to eat it really is raw, so red endive, it's delicious. Red onions, so whenever you cook, whenever you use onions, try to go for red ones. And if you got to have a drink a glass of really good red wine. And I forgot 3 more. Strawberries, eat your strawberries. I'm gonna get some today. Turmeric, add it to your cooking as a spice to your salads, or maybe to your smoothies or juices if you drink those. And walnuts. I recommend to have like an ounce of almonds every single day for fiber, for omega-3s, omega-6s. Walnuts are super great for you. So that's it for today, guys. A little bit more depth in our nutrition, food, science, and journey. A little bit more fat burning and making you fitter foods today. So I'm gonna be eating today at least cocoa, at least in form of dark chocolate. I'm gonna be eating coffee. I'm gonna be eating strawberries. Might go for some green tea today, some extra virgin olive oil and garlic. But anyhow, incorporate those foods because they work, and they might not give you a miracle physique tomorrow, but the effects accumulate, and it's something that's gonna make it easier for you to stay leaner, fitter, full of energy, and live longer. Small things, when compounded, matter, guys, and that's the beauty and the magic of life and daily consistent actions. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Have an awesome day, and as usual, till next time, eat better daily.